of our Lord 2021, the world as we knew it was spiraling into an oblivion of sadness and despair. A great plague has taken hold of all nations, and now mankind's very existence hangs in the balance. Fear gripped many people the world over, and though they lamented the loss of their day-to-day routines, they became accustomed to what was dubbed the new normal. But for some, this was not acceptable. For some, this was not only unacceptable, but also a wake-up call to the simple fact that life is too short. Too short to live within the confines of your home. Too short to live with any regrets. And too short to live in fear. This is the story of our daring middle-aged man with great hair known as Jay, and his equally stunning and brave wife, off-camera Felicia. Two souls who escaped the cycle of depression, isolation, and tyranny by setting out on an adventure to explore the world, or at least the world near them, in what would become the greatest year ever so far.
It all started with a virus and a desperate urge to get the hell out of the house. After being cooped up for months, one little excursion in a tent, no less, changed everything for us.
This is it, guys. We're packed. We're ready to go. We're going.
So in October of 2020, we purchased our first RV, and we immediately set out making reservations for the upcoming summer. This whole summer is going to be an experiment of sorts to see if we can even handle being on the road that much. But nonetheless, we're going to do it. I've got tons of destinations already set up. So, booked even. We're booked. We're going. There's no turning back now. I've already invested the money. No. The summer of 2021 will not be spent like the summer of 2020, hiding in the confines of our home. The summer of 2021 will be a summer of exploration.
Check this out. That's a little bit vertigo-inducing, but hell yeah.
Adventure.
And where the hell am I going?
I don't
Gardner
know.
said it's that way. Okay.
I have no idea.
I'm like, I don't know.
We're gonna go over the bridge, but
I've never been here before, mate.
And life.
I haven't felt this alive in a very long time. Now, by the time I get back to camp, I'm probably gonna want to throw up.
And that is exactly what we got. On today's episode, we're going to review the summer of 2021. No, I'm not going to rehash the old videos all over again. No, you can go watch those and experience firsthand how they were at the time. But what I will be doing is kind of adding some commentary to what might have been going on in my head and some of the behind-the-scenes things. I'll share some of the footage that hit the cutting room floor and just kind of consolidate the whole experience in my own words.
Well, guys, this is it. April the 23rd, 2021. This is it, guys. We're packed. We're ready to go. We're going. Just getting the last few things thrown into the journey. Journeys by Jay. Not this journey. But, yeah, bros. Just waiting on the wife now, and we're on our way.
This was it. This was the day. All that dreaming and all that planning was about to pay off. Finally. To be completely honest, I was very nervous. I had never taken that camper so far away from home. I've also never had to spend so much time talking to a camera. Totally new experience for me. And this is going to be a long trip. On this trip, we found ourselves heading to Oklahoma, and I'm not even sure who it was that discovered this place. Considering that I have absolutely no recollection of discovering it, it was probably Felicia that figured this place out. But no, we found Chickasaw National Recreation Area. And guys, I'm not even sure how we did it, but somehow we got the best campsite at the whole place. Literally, right on the lakefront, with your own private access to the lake right there in front where, by design, my plan for this trip was to get some fishing done.
Man. Looking at that lake, feeling like I need to do some fishing. I need to get a line wet, and with a hurry. I hear some crappies calling me. As you can see, I already got one in the bucket. It's a black crappie. Not huge. Not huge by any means, but he's legal. And there's a fish. There we go. It's not bad. So I went back to one of these Bobby Garlands and tried a different color this time. These Bobby Garland crappie baits. So I don't know, they like that little wobbly thing.
So that's actually what I did for the majority of this trip. You didn't see that in the original video because I kind of cut a lot of it out. Because overall, for being there 4 days, I got skunked. But I'm gonna make it look like I caught a lot of fish right now.
And of course, as luck would have it, I'm out there fishing again, trying to catch some crappie with a crappie rig, and I got catfish. Fish on here. I have no idea what it is yet. Come here. Quit. Stop. Give me my hook back. There we go. I have no idea what that is. Well, bitch, I just got one. There we go.
And of course I'd cook up that delicious catch. Hey man, fresh fish right out the lake. Nothing better.
That's so tasty.
Now, as you saw in the original video, there's plenty of freshwater springs to explore, waterfalls, as well as some really great swimming holes. But another thing that I was very hopeful for was to find some of the, local wildlife, some critters.
Is that a daggum snake coming at me? That's a snake. Hey, snake. Where'd you go?
Yeah, snake. In fact, there's a lot of them around here. We had an encounter with one that, let's just say that the consensus says that this is a cottonmouth.
Hey, poke it with a stick.
I'm not gonna poke it.
Good thing we didn't poke it with a stick. All right, we're off and out the gates. Oklahoma was a great start, and I highly recommend that you check out Chickasaw National Recreation Area. For our second trip, though, it was kind of a return to the roots. Lake Scott, Kansas was the place that inspired us to do this whole thing in the first place. Gorgeous views right on the lakeside, fishing right there. Hey, after the experience we had last time, what could possibly go wrong?
When we arrived at this campsite, covered in goose poop. Dude, look at all this. The geese. All the Canadians are here. There's even more over here. And we came back to our campsite and found we had been invaded by geese. Of course, they didn't waste no dang time. Daggum Canadians. Goose poop riot. Riot! Yeah, thanks to you guys.
Yeah, not gonna lie, the geese were a problem. While they're fun to look at, they on everything and everywhere. And where there's many animals that make much worse smelling crap than geese, it still doesn't smell good. And it's everywhere. You can't help it. You're gonna step in it. It's everywhere. You're gonna drag it into your tent or your camper. You're gonna get it all over your rug, all over the inside of your car. Anyway.
All right, well, it seems I have found some hungry fish in this lake finally. The bad news is that they're bluegill. Oh, nothing wrong with bluegill. You just need a lot of them.
So of course fishing was going to be on the docket once again, but the problem here was they just weren't really biting during the day.
Yeah, there's no shortage of bluegill in this lake. You can see all them boogers down there. Probably if I put my bait right there. Yeah, there's a little bitty one going right after it. Go get your big brother or your dad.
We caught most of our fish at night, which is obviously not conducive for filming.
Pretty good score. Fishies! But not much action happened during the day.
Overall, I think the best way to sum it up is that Lake Scott is a very relaxing place. Not a lot of excitement. So if you want to chill out, reduce some stress, and just unwind, it is a great place to go. Get some fishing, you can do a little hiking, and do a little swimming if you want to. Our constantly drunk, argumentative, and belligerent neighbors across the lake were the greatest source of entertainment through the whole thing. I wish I'd have been filming. It was mostly at night, so you wouldn't have been able to see it, but at least I should have got some audio. Next time, man. Next time.
Okay, so we're heading out to the Royal Gorge, just a little bit west of Canyon City. And man, I was all ready to tell a story about how I hadn't been here since I was a kid. But yeah, apparently I have been there since I was a kid, and I have absolutely no recollection of it. Off camera, Felicia here told me, no, we went there with either your mom or your dad or somebody, and yeah, I don't remember this. Don't get old, kids.
So the Royal Gorge Bridge is nothing less than a spectacle of Colorado tourism. Completed in 1929, it was the highest suspension bridge in the world until after the year 2000. Growing up in Colorado, I've been coming to this place for as long as I can remember. And it is not the fact that it was the world's highest suspension bridge that made it so memorable. No, it was the walk across it. You just have to experience it.
Oh my. Ooh. It's a long way down, bro. Spectacular, absolutely spectacular views from up here. But it's just so far down. And take a look at this. I don't know, man. This will do. But this is wood. Each time you see through a crack there, yeah, that's a long way down.
Yeah, dude, the whole deck of this bridge is wood planks, and that adds to the adrenaline rush of crossing it. Add to that the fact the wind makes the bridge bounce up and down. Yeah, man, it's totally one of those you have to experience it things.
I remember coming here as a kid and being absolutely stunned by all this, and you know what? It doesn't change when you're an adult. It's still stunning.
Now, I covered all the stunning aspects of the Royal Gorge Bridge in the original video. What I didn't cover was the less stunning aspects, which we're gonna share now.
Oh, that's sad, a closed beer garden. Because I could really go for a beer right about now. It's only $6 for a 12-ounce beer. It's not bad, right? I mean, that's still better than concert prices. Thought I was kidding, did you? I was thirsty for a beer. I got one now. By the Bridge of Paradise or whatever, I don't know.
So we headed back to the KOA, and the only thing I had in my mind was I wanted to hit the pool.
Nice pool over there that's currently closed.
Or maybe a ride down a haunted slide.
It's a haunted slide even. I don't know who exactly they're trying to keep out here, but stupid people, I guess.
And dang it, the slide's closed too.
Yeah, this place looks like the 80s threw up on it.
Check out the original video to see more of what you can do at the Royal Gorge. A great place to spend a day and a night on your journeys. The next trip we took I could almost describe as a geologic fever dream. Chalk Creek Campground was among the loudest, but also one of the most beautiful campsites we were at all summer. There was a lot to do in the area in the short time we were there. We wanted to go looking for garnets up on Ruby Mountain. We wanted to go check out the ghost town, and we most definitely wanted to check out the Mount Princeton Hot Springs. And although fishing wasn't originally in the plans, after seeing this clip, I think next time it most definitely will be. Now there's a couple of little postscripts that I want to add to this trip that never made the original video because, well, one's humorous and one is kind of weird. The humorous one is the trip to Ruby Mountain. Okay, so long after the fact, I learned that this flaky, powdery white stuff that we were digging in to find garnets that I thought was rhyolite was not rhyolite. Totally great for finding Apache tears, but if you're looking for a garnet, no. Good luck, that would be a miracle. No, the rhyolite is much further up on that mountain. So, we're gonna chalk that one up to another next time, boys. Next time.
As for right now, I'm telling you, man, looks like Ruby Mountain is tapped out.
Now this next one, hear me out, I'm not claiming this was a ghost, but when we were in St. Elmo, a ghost town, I caught something on camera that was really, really weird. Listen closely to this clip.
That's weird.
Oh my God, Dad. Oh my God, Dad.
First of all, what is that creepy guttural grunt? Felicia and I can both attest we did not hear that with our own ears while we were there. Now, the grunt being curious enough, it got a little weirder in the fact that there is somebody here clearly speaking with a thick accent.
Oh my God, Dad. Oh my God, Dad.
Now, where Felicia and I would probably forget hearing some random grunt while we're filming chipmunks, we would definitely remember if there was somebody there speaking with a thick, English-sounding accent. There was nobody there speaking with any accent.
Oh my God, Dad.
So again, I am not claiming this to be supernatural, but it is pretty high on the creep factor. We'll let you decide.
Well, we have made it. We are at Pinyon Flats Campground in Sand Dunes National Monument and Preserve. Those aren't mountains, guys. Those are big piles of sand we're going to be climbing.
The Great Sand Dunes is just an awesome place to spend a few days. There's plenty of fun stuff for everybody in the family to do. During the day, you can set off on some hiking trails, or you can go play in the sand or cool off in the creek. And at night, there's always a cool breeze, a laid-back atmosphere, and s'mores around the campfire. But it seems for a lot of people, myself included, the primary objective was to get up on top of one of those things.
For the first time in my life, I'm gonna make it to the tops of these. Look at all those people down there. They look like ants. They just look like ants coming up an ant hill.
So, did I make it?
If you've ever wondered what's on the other side of these dunes, more dunes, even bigger ones. That's how you camp right there. Holy cow. Hike that back here to the dunes and you're private land, man. Somewhere down there, my wife and daughter are waiting for me. And we're supposed to cook up some catfish tonight. Nah, not fresh caught, but catfish.
Mission accomplished. Now it was time to get back to camp and enjoy an ice-cold beverage and pontificate about one of the more unusual things that the San Luis Valley is known for.
Because the valley we're in, I don't know if you knew this, is supposedly known for lots and lots of UFO sightings. So we'll be on the lookout for them UFers.
Well, I was looking, and I didn't see any UFers. But it did give rise to this stupid thing that I do in all of my videos now. Hey, it's fun. Leave me alone. Just go check out the sand dunes. Awesome place. The next adventure we went on would be one that was, for me at least, right out of a storybook. Yellowstone National Park. I've been here before as a very young child. I was 4 years old when I last walked these boardwalks, and I was much too young to appreciate what I was looking at. So even though I've been here, it was like coming back with fresh eyes. So it kind of goes without saying that this is the one trip out of the whole year that I was looking forward to the most.
I came here to see nature.
This park is enormous, so you can throw out the window all that talk about, oh, just get away for a weekend. No, you're gonna need to spend some time here. We split the park into 3 different sections over 3 days, and we still didn't see everything.
You know, you might be saying, oh, well, you should have gone here in Yellowstone, and you should have gone there, and you should have gone there. Well, there needs to be things to see next time we come here. And besides, dude, this park is huge.
On the first day, we immersed ourselves in the wonder that is the Southern Geyser Basins. Starting with the Old Faithful Basin, which has geysers including Castle Geyser, Giant Geyser, a myriad of colorful and crystalline thermal pools, and of course, Old Faithful. We visited the Biscuit Basin, where I saw with my own 2 eyes exactly how people die here. We visited the fountain paint pots, and of course, we were not going to miss the awe-inspiring Grand Prismatic. On day 2, we headed east to the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. Not to be confused with the Grand Canyon. I know that's weird. The United States has 2 Grand Canyons. Whatever the case, semantics, it's gorgeous. And you won't see waterfalls like this at the Grand Canyon. As the day would progress, we would walk the banks of the Yellowstone River, visit Yellowstone Lake, have our first encounter with real wildlife, and visit what is, by my estimation, the stinkiest place on Earth. That's right, Mud Volcano.
What did we learn today? Volcanoes are kind of gross.
On day 3, we worked our way north from our campground, starting at the Artist's Paint Pots. A short hike takes you to a dazzling collection of thermal features, including my favorite, this hot, bubbling bowl of porridge. And then onward to the Norris Basin. This is the oldest geyser basin in all of Yellowstone, and it looks like it. But don't let its age fool you. This place is still as active as a toddler on a sugar binge. Hot water or steam seems to burst from every crack or crevice. But make no mistake, there is beauty hidden in this basin. When you look, you will find it. And from there it was off to the kinda underwhelming Mammoth Springs. But it's worth noting that it is absolutely true that this town is where all the elk hang out.
Elks, brah.
And finally, a quick trip up to Gardner to sample some good eats, and then make the long trek all the way back to the campground. Well, that sounds like a pretty darn complete trip. What did I miss? Well, the truthful answer is not a lot. I took 8 gigabytes of footage on this trip, and sadly, it seems that about 6 of those 8 gigabytes are all dash cam footage. Lesson learned. But even though most of the footage I took was usable and used in the video, some of it did hit the cutting room floor just for time's sake or irrelevancy, but whatever the case, I'm gonna share a few moments right here. Yellowstone makes it abundantly clear, stay on the boardwalks, for obvious reasons. They're clearly supposed to shock you into compliance, and should be taken seriously. However, if you have a dark sense of humor, they can start to become a little comical.
Oh no!
I like how you guys don't give a
In some ways, Yellowstone has suffered for being such a popular tourist destination. Once upon a time, the minute geyser here used to erupt up to 50 feet every 60 seconds. But tourists kept throwing rocks into it, and now it literally has a clog that no one can fix. I have never before seen such a colorful assortment of alcohols in a national park.
Oh, see, now we're talking. Grand Prismatic Rum. And Spotted Bear Tequila.
The selections were spirited, pun intended.
How about some Great Gray Gin? Whew. Where's the bourbon? Huckleberry flavored vodka. Oh no. Another one. Coulter's Run Whiskey. You can buy that right here in the park. I'm chalking it up to a souvenir.
Yeah, I found one that was fitting my vibe, and I gotta say, the local hooch is pretty tasty. Plastic cup and all. Okay, so there's one more thing I want to show you from this trip, but real quick, I've got to embarrass my wife and daughter. Remember this bridge? Felicia was recording the first time we ever went over it, and captured their hilarious reaction.
Oh no, the bridge. I'm with you.
It has a guardrail.
Yeah, but it's like over the I'm biting my lip at the moment. Like, I don't like this. It isn't as bad as whenever you're coming in.
Well, I thought it was funny anyway. But anyway, the last thing I want to show you was something we discovered just outside of Mammoth Village. And I really wanted to include this in the original video, but I just couldn't find a place for it, and to be completely honest, I'm not even sure if we're supposed to be here.
My daughter and wife insist they saw a cemetery down here. And we're pretty dark people. So if there's a cemetery in an old-timey place like this, we gotta see it. So we're taking another walk. Oh, there is a cemetery. Doesn't look like you can get in here though. I'd sure like to know who's in here. Anyone famous or notable? Somebody named Stevens. Eugene Clark. Who's Eugene Clark? He died in 1906.
This is the old Fort Yellowstone Cemetery. Yellowstone was classified as a national park in 1872, but the National Park Service didn't come around till 1916. So, until 1916, this place was looked after by the Army. And if you died here, you were buried here, including the families. However, in 1917, all the soldiers were reinterred at another gravesite. The families? They're still here.
There's a lot of kids here. 14-month-old. That one just says child. Baby Elliot. It's kind of a little weird, actually.
So it goes without saying that there is a lot to see in Yellowstone. So much so that I had to put my original videos in 3 parts. Check them out. Now, I haven't been to all that many parks in the country as of yet, but I can already tell you that Yellowstone is going to remain in the top 5 places to see, according to me, forever. So be sure to drop it on your bucket list. And in case you didn't know, another nice feature about Yellowstone is that it has another very nice national park right next door. So we figured, hey, we're already here, let's go check out Teton.
That big pointy thing, the big nipple. She's right there.
In stark contrast to Yellowstone, where you run around to observe the wonders of nature, Grand Teton is more like a place where you just bask in nature. You want to go hiking? Go hiking. If you want to go fish? Go fish. If you want to do some canoeing or some paddleboarding, great place for it. All with one of the most spectacular backdrops Mother Nature has to offer. No matter where you go, you're going to find little surprises everywhere. So imagine our surprise when we found ourselves having dinner in Jackson Hole. Jackson Hole was never part of the plan, but I guess sometimes you just gotta sail where the wind takes you. There was one thing that you could possibly call a plan, being that it was something that I knew in advance I wanted to go to when we went to Teton. Yep, a dang old barn. Well, okay, not just any barn, it's the most photographed barn in the world. And I'm into that artsy-fartsy kind of stuff. Just Google T.A. Moulton Barn and you'll see a lot of pictures a lot prettier than mine. And there you have the brief summary of our trip to Teton. We were neither prepared nor equipped to do any of the said hiking or fishing or paddleboarding and so forth, but we were perfectly content to just be observers this go-around. Grand Teton kind of has that Alps look about it, doesn't it? So when you're in the neighborhood, be sure to stop by. For our last official trip of the season, we took what would be the most aggravating trip of the season. In the original video, I was very diplomatic about describing our experience with this trip. But this is the recap, and I'm not holding any punches. To be completely frank, this trip pissed me off. The information about what's open and what's closed is scarce to non-existent. So picture yourself. I only live 6 hours away. I drove 6 hours to come see this. Can you imagine somebody who came from Georgia who drove 3 days to come see this and found out only then that they can't see anything? Yeah, I'd be livid. And to add insult to injury, there used to be a time where you'd show up at Mesa Verde and you wanted to see any of the attractions, take a tour of it from a park ranger. You just had to show up at a certain point at the cliff house or the balcony house or whatever, and someone would eventually show up and take you on a tour. Nope, can't do that anymore. Now you got to pay an additional admission fee just to take the tour. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but aren't our tax dollars paying for all of this? Shouldn't my admission fee cover my fee to see what's in this park? Well, I don't suppose it matters because nothing's open anyway. Imagine going to Yellowstone and being told only after you got there that you have to pay $8 more just to see Old Faithful. Or worse, Old Faithful is closed.
Oh, look at that. Trail closed. Why? Why?
Seriously, y'all, this trip was irritating. And it really breaks my heart to have to say this. As much as I love Mesa Verde National Park for all of its history, I'm not going to recommend you go to this place. Not now, not until they've figured their shit out. There might be very valid reasons why the park is in this state, but the layman doesn't know that. I didn't know that. And they're literally doing nothing to explain it to anybody. But check back in a few years when maybe, just maybe, they've figured it out. We will be going back eventually, but not anytime soon. So in conclusion, if Yellowstone is in the top 5, if not number 1, then Mesa Verde is in the bottom 5, if not the last place contender out of all of them. So keep that in mind as you're making your plans. Do your research, make sure you know what's going on there, because as far as I can tell, they don't even know what's going on there. There you have it. We hit 5 states over the course of 5 months and made a lifetime's worth of memories. When this whole thing started, we asked the question, what are we doing with our lives? The answer was a sad, not much. This new paradigm of ours reinforced the values of family and of friendships and getting in touch with nature, a gentle reminder that not everything you see on the news or on TV or in the movies or on the internet is what life is. That's not what life is. Your life is what you make it. So now I'm going to ask you, what are you doing with your life? Is there something missing? Well, then fix it. We became weekend warriors for one summer, and by the time this video is released, we'll be a couple trips deep into making the summer of 2022 just as great as 2021. Hopefully even better. Season 2 is coming soon, and it'll include a host of new adventures and a few surprises. And if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button and ding that little bell so that you don't miss a minute of it. And guys, don't be shy about leaving a comment. Believe me, I'm a big boy, I can take it. So anyways, I want to end this video by giving you a huge thank you for making the first season such a success. If you really support what I'm doing, there's lots of ways to show support, but the most important one out of all of them is just being there. So, thank you. And with that, I'm signing off. See you in Season 2. Until then, safe travels, happy camping, and cheers.